Is card counting illegal? In short, no, card counting itself isn't illegal. But let's dive into the nuances. First off, it's perfectly legal to count cards as long as you're not using any external devices. In places like Nevada, using a device to cheat at games can land you in serious trouble. Think up to 6 years in prison and a hefty $10,000 fine. So, if you're planning on card counting in blackjack, make sure to do it the old-fashioned way, using just your brain, not some sneaky gadget. Secondly, although card counting is legal, casinos have the right to show you the door. Let's not forget, casinos are private property. Managers can bar entry to anyone they please, including those caught counting cards. If you attempt to return after being banned, you're essentially trespassing, which can lead to civil and criminal penalties in Nevada and elsewhere. If you get asked to leave, do so politely. Don't let things escalate. Assault or battery against casino staff can result in severe consequences, from legal penalties to jail time and more fines. Contrary to what Hollywood might show, you won't get beaten up. Reality's far less dramatic. So, to sum up the question, is card counting illegal? It's not illegal, but it could get you banned from the casino. It's best to stay under the radar and not broadcast your card counting prowess to everyone at the table. For those just starting out, let's recap the basics. First, you need to learn the card values used in counting. Practice is key, especially if you want to keep up with a speedy dealer. Here's how the values break down. -2 to 6. Each card is worth +1. 10-point cards and aces. Each card is worth -1. 7, 8, 9. These cards don't affect the count. Once you've got these values down, start counting the cards at your table. While doing this, make sure to also apply basic blackjack strategy. Don't let the focus on counting cause you to lose. Practice and more practice will sharpen your skills. When your count is high and after factoring in the true count, you can start upping your baits. It may also be wise to tweak your strategy a bit, so keeping a handy note nearby to remind you of key plays could be beneficial. So, you're ready to take your card counting skills to the casino floor. Awesome! Here are a few essential tips to keep in your back pocket. 1. Learn the basic strategy perfectly. Before you even think about counting cards, you need to master the basic blackjack strategy. This is your foundation. Think of it as your ABCs. Knowing the basic strategy inside and out helps you minimize the house edge, sometimes even wiping it out completely. You need to understand the best decisions for every possible scenario, based on solid data. Once you've got the basics down pat, you can start incorporating deviations based on your card count. But remember, these adjustments are just a piece of the puzzle. The strategy chart is where you'll see the most impact. 2. Check the blackjack rules. Next, be sure to find tables with the most favorable blackjack rules. For instance, look for tables where blackjack pays 3 to 2 and where the dealer stands on a soft 17. You'll also want insurance to pay to 2-1, as it becomes a good bet when the count is high. Rules allowing you to split multiple times and double down on any 2 cards are also quite advantageous. Another crucial factor is the number of decks in play. If it's not evident on the table, ask the dealer about it. Fewer decks are generally better for counting, though most casinos use either 6 or 8. 3. Study the tables. One often overlooked aspect is how frequently the dealer shuffles the deck or changes the shoe. Card counting becomes near impossible if the shoe is swapped out every few hands. Seek out tables where shuffling is less frequent to give yourself enough time to build a solid count. Also, make sure the betting limits align with your strategy, allowing you to start small and escalate your baits when the count is in your favor. 4. Manage your bankroll. Proper bankroll management is crucial in card counting. While you can gain an edge over the casino, this advantage is usually slim and takes time to yield profits. This means you'll need to manage your money wisely over the long haul to succeed. Even with perfect strategy and top-notch counting skills, short-term losses are still possible. Don't follow a losing streak obsessively. Set a budget from the get-go and stick to it. Remember, instant profits aren't the aim here, patience is. 5. Practice makes perfect. Sure, card counting might seem overwhelming at first, but like anything, you can get better with practice. Start practicing for free with online demos of blackjack games or use decks of cards at home. The more you practice, the sharper your skills will become. While card counting is mostly associated with blackjack, the technique can offer some utility in other casino games as well. Let's explore how it works in different settings. When it comes to multiplayer poker, keeping an eye on the cards play can be game-changing. 7-card stud is particularly well-suited for this. Even though it's not as popular as it once was, you can still find it in many casinos and online gaming platforms. For effective card counting in stud, multiple players need to be at the table. The game begins with each player receiving 1 card face-up. It's crucial to memorize these cards, including those from players who fold. These folded cards provide essential information, and missing out on them gives your opponents an edge. Baccarat is another game where card counting can be applied, though the returns are minimal. Since Baccarat is a game of chance with no player influence post-bet, your only strategic decision is where to place your chips. The strategy involves keeping track of cards worth 0 points. If you notice more of these cards remaining in the deck, the player bet becomes slightly more favorable than the banker bet. However, the math shows that correctly counting cards in Baccarat yields a meager profit around $3 or $1,000 in baits. Hardly worth the effort, right? Another tactic in Baccarat is betting on ties, which offer higher payouts. To do this, you need to memorize the groups of cards dealt. If you see more 0 cards left in the deck, the chance of a 0-0 tie increases. The same logic applies to other card groups that might dominate towards the end of the shoe. However, the waiting game can be tiresome, and remember, a tie is far from guaranteed. By understanding these nuances, you can better decide where to apply your card counting skills beyond blackjack. But let's be real, the returns in these other games usually don't justify the effort involved. Stick to what works best for you and enjoy the game.